They've just arrested Nekima Armstrong for our protest on Sunday. You know, my lawyers tell me they have no case. This use of the FACE Act and the KKK Act is complete but let's be honest, they don't care. They don't believe in the rule of law. They're fascists. They're now going after the Clintons for the Epstein files? What the God damn it, people. When will you stop acting like everything's normal and going about your days? Get in the streets now. It's time to shut this country down. We are at fascism. The Republic has fallen. Please, Americans, please stand up for something. Do not be the same as those in 1930s Germany, because right now that's exactly what you're all doing. Please wake the up.
That was the very last video that William Kelly posted on TikTok before he got arrested. Now, before we get into the arrest, it's very clear he saw the writing on the wall. Number one, he would not have met with his lawyers if he wasn't concerned. And number two, he wouldn't have followed their advice. They clearly gave him advice, which gives us a sneak peek, a preview into what their defense for him will be when this goes to court. So he sneakily, discreetly updated his GoFundMe, which unfortunately is still up. But originally it said, "Help me scold the Gestapo and hunt Nazis." Well, as you can see, he rewrote that to say, "Help me practice my First Amendment rights." I doubt that he updated that on his own. It's probably an update from his lawyers, and, they want to focus on First Amendment rights because that clearly is going to be their defense in court. It's really interesting that he decided to be more combative and more defiant after Nekima Armstrong was arrested. You would have thought that he would have gone dark or at least been more conciliatory, but instead he's literally inciting an insurrection. He's asking people to take to the streets to fight back against the government, to shut the country down. And that's what he said in that video right there. And the irony, of course, is that he's criticizing Republicans for going after the Clintons over the Epstein files. Meanwhile, we had 4 years of witch hunts against President Trump, including, of course, the January 6th witch hunt. The Democrats almost threw President Trump in jail, even though he explicitly told his supporters, and I quote, "peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard." Compare that to William Kelly, who just in that video told people to rise up and shut the country down. There really is a clear difference here. Now, the way in which William Kelly was arrested is just absolutely epic, because a few days ago, he actually taunted Pam Bondi not once, but twice. Take a look at this post.
Those Nazis. Come and get me, Pam Bondi, you traitorous bitch. All power to the people.
And the second one was just as vulgar and just as crazy, while Pam Bondi actually posted that exact video on X, and she said, "Okay, check mark. Talk about a mic drop. Talk about epic." William, well, he effed around, and he definitely found out. Now, Pam responded to her own post saying, "Update, William Kelly is now in custody. Our nation was settled and founded by people fleeing religious persecution. Religious freedom is the bedrock of this country. We will protect our pastors. We will protect our churches. We will protect Americans of faith." Now, his arrest photo was actually shared by multiple people online, including Kristi Noem. I believe she was the first one who posted this. If I'm getting my timeline wrong, please forgive me, but I tried to go through all the government accounts, and hers was the oldest one that I personally could find. I know Kash Patel posted it around the same time. So we'll definitely see what's going on here. What's interesting, though, William Kelly is now the third person who's been arrested. That probably leaves you wondering or questioning, well, what about Don Lemon? He was involved in all of this. According to Josh Gerstein, one of Politico's most accurate reporters, breaking, Trump Justice Department charges journalist Don Lemon, along with 7 others, over church protest aimed at ICE agent. Well, that raises the question, are we going to see Don Lemon arrested similar to Nekima Armstrong or William Kelly? Unfortunately, it's not looking promising. Gerstein updated, "I took down this post because while Lemon's name appeared a short time ago in court records as one of 8 defendants in the church protest case, I'm told a magistrate judge rejected the charge against him. The docket entry is now gone." This has now been confirmed by CBS News as well as a few others. But rumor has it that the DOJ is looking at other charges to bring forward. But again, here we clearly see political activist judges stepping in and overstepping their bounds. Look, even if Don Lemon is going to claim that he was protected by the First Amendment as a journalist, the DOJ is still free to bring the charge against him. And guess what? Here in America, it is innocent until proven guilty. So just because the DOJ charges him, it doesn't mean that the case is over. It doesn't mean that he's settled or that he's somehow guilty. Instead, it's up to Don Lemon. It's up to his lawyers to defend himself in court. I mean, we have to see due process play out here, but instead this magistrate judge stepped in, tried to circumvent the entire process. Instead of due process, it was the judge's process. It could maybe be understandable if Don Lemon was still working for CNN, and so the judge said, well, he's with the network, he's clearly there doing his job, it's protected by the First Amendment, and therefore I'm going to toss this case. Now, whether or not you agree with that, I could at least understand that argument if that were the situation here, but it's not. Don Lemon is not only self-employed, he's an independent journalist, but there's actually hours of live stream footage, his own live stream, that could be used against him, proving, or at least suggesting at the very least, that he wasn't there as a journalist, but as one of the activists. This is one of the clips that really hasn't made the rounds on social media. So after people were leaving the church because they were forced out, many were crying, children were scared, they were being harassed all the way to their vans. Well, Don Lemon stopped one of the fathers, a church attendee outside the church, and he engaged in this debate. Is debating what journalists do? I thought they're supposed to report on what's happening on the ground, but listen really closely to what Don says in response time and time again.
What do you think of this?
Just a harmless Christian here that wants to praise the Lord with my son, and now I got to go home. I'm sorry that you guys are so angry.
I'm just chronicling. I'm not with the group.
What do I have to say?
Can you understand why they're angry?
I don't understand any of this because I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man who loves the Lord and is a good father. This is what we look forward to, is coming, being with our family and praising Jesus, and that's not something that we have to run away from. So this is kind of a bad day for us. But, we're going to heaven, so that's the best news we got.
Do you understand that some of these folks feel voiceless?
I don't understand, because right now I'm so upset right now. I don't really have I'm thirsty, and I can't think very clearly. So what I want to do is just say, we love you. My son and I love you guys. And
I'm a journalist. They're activists.
The simplest thing we can say is that we love you guys.
What do you mean, you guys?
Well, whoever's here in this house.
Okay.
We don't distinguish between Christian and non-Christian. We love everyone, and we want everyone to come to heaven.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. We want folks to go to heaven, and if we need to talk about these things, then this isn't the time for that, really.
But don't you think until we go to heaven, if you believe in that there should be some sort of peace here on earth, and that people should have agency, and we shouldn't be beating people up off the street, and we should be abiding by the Constitution?
I think that's just a little bit loaded for me right now, what you're doing.
Why so?
Well, I don't want to interview right now. I don't want to interview. I just want to tell you guys I love you. I don't need to interview right now because I want to be with my son. It's Sunday. It's time for rest and for renewal. I would like to answer your question, but I just can't right now.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Two things. Number one, that dude is a hero. I just absolutely loved him, his energy, his attitude, and the fact that he expressed love, even though he felt violated and disappointed, and you could tell he was upset. But still, he expressed that love and shared. Isn't that the gospel of Christ? Love your neighbor as yourself. And he was doing that even in the face of adversity. But number two here, even if Don Lemon claims that he was there just performing a journalistic duty, the fact that that guy multiple times said, "you guys," he looped Don Lemon in with the rest of the group. He didn't distinguish. So for the people there, clearly Don Lemon was part of it. Don can play all these semantic word games all he wants, but reality is, I'm sure it's not just that man. The people in the church felt like they were invaded by that one group. What is crazy, though, is that this group, before these arrests started happening, they knew this was coming. They saw the writing on the wall, and Nekima Armstrong actually went on CNN to attempt to reframe the narrative. She attempted to rewrite history, even though the internet is forever. This is so mind-blowing. You have to see it to believe it. But before I show you this clip from CNN, I would like to thank the members of today's Governors Club. They are Rob Sparkman, good to see you, Ted Short, gloves off, and Ding Xiaoping. These are people who give tips and super thanks to the channel. I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you enjoy. Seriously, I have never seen something this brazen.
And I do want to correct something that was said in the beginning. We did not rush into that church. We actually went and sat down and participated in the service. And after the pastor prayed, that is when I stood up and asked him a question in response to his prayer. And then he responded to me. And then I proceeded to ask him about Pastor David Easterwood and how is it possible for him to serve as both the pastor and the director of ICE for Minnesota. And instead of responding to me, as soon as I said the name David Easterwood, the pastor says, "Shame, shame." And that is when I led us in chants, "Justice for Renee Good" and "Hands Up, Don't Shoot." So I want to clarify that. We didn't rush in. We didn't bust in. We were a part of the service until I got up and posed that question to the pastor.
I'm sorry, Nekima. It's just hard to believe you when we all saw the videos going viral and the videos show something else. What are you trying to do here? They're clearly, it's not just her. It's also William Kelly. The fact that he rewrote his GoFundMe page, likely for two reasons. Number one, he probably did it as part of the defense strategy that his lawyers are going to use in court. And number two, I'd like to think that thanks to all of you joining in and reporting his GoFundMe fundraiser, maybe they reached out to him and said, "Hey, you have to change this because it's against our terms of service." Maybe some loophole. I don't know. Maybe GoFundMe doesn't care. It would not surprise me because many of these corporations are out of touch, but clearly they know that they're in trouble, and they thought that they were, going to get their 15 minutes of fame, 15 seconds of fame, and just get away with this. And now that consequences are staring them in the face, it's clear that they're having second thoughts. As always, though, all of this is just my analysis and commentary. This is what's happening in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So this magistrate judge who refused the charges against Don Lemon, do you think that the DOJ will successfully be able to, lob something against them? I imagine that they're going to throw darts at the wall to see what sticks. Do you think it's just hopeless and dead on arrival, or do you think they can eventually find one target and, just really hit that bullseye? Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. Well, like I said yesterday, I hope that my doubts of Pam Bondi become water under the bridge. And you know what? Kudos to her. Kudos to the DOJ for actually standing up, taking action. This doesn't, absolve maybe all of my misgivings towards her, but hey, it's a start, and better late than never. And let's not stop. Keep this momentum going. Do what you're doing. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.